Welcome to the deep dive. So you've sent us Bill Perkins's Die with Zero, and we're going to dig into it today.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Our goal really is to pull out those core ideas, the stuff that actually makes you pause and think.
And see how they might apply, maybe reshape how you think about living a full life.
Exactly. And what hits you straight away, I think, is this challenge to the usual way of thinking.
Mm-hmm. It's less about just piling up wealth, isn't it?
Right. Much more about, intentionally building a life that's packed with experience, memories.
Okay, so where do we start? The big theme seems to be shipping focus.
Definitely. Let's dive in. The first thing that really jumps out is this focus on regret. The ultimate accounting, as the book puts it.
Yeah, it paints this really vivid picture. You're looking back at your life.
And you're not counting the money you didn't spend.
No, you're counting the experiences you missed, the things you let slip away.
It totally flips the script on what a well-lived life means.
It's not just about the mistakes you didn't make.
No, it's often about the risks you didn't take, the things you just never quite got around to doing.
That emotional core is strong. The idea that the deepest regrets are often about inaction.
Yeah, the chances we didn't grab. And the message is so direct. Spend your life collecting memories, not regrets. Start today.
Simple but powerful.
And for you, listening, maybe looking for those aha moments, this really reframes looking ahead, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, it kind of cuts through that feeling of being overwhelmed by the future, by too many options.
Right. It focuses it more on actively creating experiences now.
Exactly, which naturally brings up this other point,
Right.
the danger of always pushing joy off.
Oh, yeah, the I'll do it later trap, putting everything off until retirement.
The book really highlights that. How many people have these lifelong dreams? Travel's a big one.
And then when they finally get the time, maybe the health isn't there anymore.
Or just
Yeah.
the moment's past. That someday just evaporates. It becomes never.
Oof, that hits hard.
That's the emotional truth it taps into. Life isn't a rehearsal. There's no second take.
Right. No practice run.
And the book is almost pleading,
Mm-hmm.
If you have the chance to live today, take it. Future you is hoping you don't wait.
It really makes you stop and look at your own someday list, doesn't it?
Totally. Are we actually living now in a way that honors those future hopes, or just assuming they'll happen?
Which I think connects really well to the next idea, this concept of memory dividends.
Yes. I like this framing. Explain that a bit.
Well, it's the idea that experiences aren't just fleeting moments. They keep paying back.
How so? Emotionally.
Exactly. Emotionally. Through the memories they create. They offer returns throughout your life.
The book uses that example, right? A vacation you took in your 30s.
Yeah, and it's still bringing you joy, sparking stories decades later. We can all probably relate to that feeling.
It's not just the event, it's the echo,
Yeah.
the ongoing value.
The book puts it quite nicely. Experiences are the only investments that grow emotional wealth over a lifetime.
That's a great line. And the call to action follows directly.
Buy moments today that will nourish your heart forever.
It really prompts you to think about your own cherished memories, doesn't it? And how much they still mean.
Absolutely. Which then brings up the elephant in the room. Money.
Right. How does money fit into all this experience collecting?
The book tackles it directly. It positions money very clearly as a tool, a means to an end.
Not the end goal itself.
Precisely. It's there to facilitate the living, not be the score.
And that image it uses. The wealthy retiree who accumulated all this money but never actually lived.
It's a cautionary tale, isn't it? What's the point if it doesn't translate into a better lived life?
The book is blunt. Money means nothing if it doesn't translate into a better lived life.
It reframes the scoreboard idea.
Yeah. Your bank account is not your life scoreboard. Your memories are.
For you, listening, trying to figure out what's really important, that's a pretty clear shift in perspective.
Okay, so if money is a tool, how should we use it? The book talks about giving, too.
Strategic giving, yes. Thinking about when your money makes the biggest difference.
Not just leaving it all behind at the end.
Right. It's about impact, both for the person receiving it and for your own fulfillment in seeing that impact.
The example of helping kids with education or a house deposit. You get to see it happen.
You witness the change. That makes the giving more powerful, more joyful, as the book says.
Give when it can change lives, not when it's just a formality. That's the takeaway.
It encourages a more thoughtful, intentional approach to generosity, doesn't it? Timing matters.
Definitely. And timing relates to another crucial factor the book stresses.
Yeah.
Health and time itself.
Ah, yes. the declining value in a sense of time and health as we age, especially for certain activities.
It underscores acting on dreams while you still physically can,
That Machu Picchu example is quite stark, dreaming of it at 30.
but finding your health won't allow it when you finally have a time at 70. It's a reminder that our physical capacity isn't constant.
No, it changes, and the book doesn't mince words. You'll always have excuses, but you won't always have your health.
So the message is urgent. Act before your body, energy, and dreams fade away.
It makes you look hard at those physically demanding goals. Are you putting them on the back burner indefinitely?
Yeah, which leads nicely into this idea of life seasons.
Right, aligning what you're doing with where you are in life. Priorities shift naturally.
The book suggests, maybe your 20s are for adventure, 30s for building, things like that. Not rigid rules, but phases.
And the insight there is pretty profound. Miss your season, and you miss a chapter that cannot be rewritten.
Wow. Yeah, you can't go back and relive your 20s and your 50s in the same way.
So the advice is about being present, being intentional. Live the right story at the right time. Your life has seasons. Honor them.
It's a good prompt for self-reflection. Am I living in alignment with my current season?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we need a bit of a jolt to see if we are. The book also acts as a kind of wake-up call.
How so?
Yeah.
About routine.
Exactly. How easily routine, just making a living, can overshadow actually living a fulfilling life.
That picture of people stuck in jobs they dislike, always dreaming of someday. It's unfortunately common.
And the book draws a clear line. Earning money isn't living life. It's supposed to support living.
That distinction is key.
Don't confuse making a living with making a life. It really pushes you to evaluate your own work-life balance, or maybe integration is a better word.
True. And linked to that, maybe, is the encouragement to take risks.
Yeah.
Especially earlier on.
Yes. The idea that failing when you're younger often has, well, lower stakes, less severe consequences, usually.
Thinking about those unpursued ideas,
Mhm.
startups, books, big trips.
The regret from not trying can be heavier than the pain of trying and failing.
The book frames it as, failing young is cheaper than regretting forever.
It's quite empowering, actually, a call to action. Dream big, risk early, fail fast, live fully.
For anyone listening who values growth, trying new things, that's a powerful nudge, right?
Absolutely. And then it all circles back. The book brings us back to the core idea.
Die with zero, meaning
Yeah.
zero regrets, zero money. What's the essence?
Well, fundamentally, it's about maximizing life experiences over just accumulating unused wealth, intentionally using your resources for living.
So the real measure isn't your final bank balance.
No, it's the richness of your memories. The book suggests the happiest people at the end are rich in stories and experiences.
That core truth feels quite profound. The point of life isn't to die with wealth unused. It's to die knowing you truly lived.
And that final call to action really sums up the whole philosophy.
Remind us.
Use every dollar, every heartbeat, every breath to live, love, and leave no dream behind.
It definitely makes you stop and think about your own definition of a life well lived.
So wrapping up these ideas from the excerpts of Die with Zero, the overarching theme is clear. It's a call to be proactive about living.
Yeah, not passive. It's about consciously choosing experiences, actively making memories.
Rather than just letting wealth pile up as the main goal.
It's about that intentional alignment, isn't it? Spending your resources, time and money, in line with what you truly value.
At every stage of life, recognizing those seasons we talked about.
Exactly. So, considering all this,
Maybe the thought to leave you with is this. What's one small, concrete thing you could do, maybe even today?
to intentionally create one of those memory dividends for your future self.
Yeah, just something small to start banking those experiences. Food for thought.
Indeed. Thank you for sharing this really quite thought-provoking material with us and for joining us on this deep dive.
And one last time, make sure you hit subscribe on the Book Talkers Podcast YouTube channel so you catch our next discussion.